What's up? This disciple Marshall Occurrence rain back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-America all day, anti-Gangstalk all day, anti-Freemason all day, anti-telepath all day. So this message basically is going to be about fasting against the American culture. Fasting against the American culture. I'm already fasting against the American culture, but I need to show you why really you need to fast against the American culture as a Christian, because the American culture is gang stalking Christians. So it's gang stalking. It's in a mammoth way. So basically, it's gigantic gang stalking. So this is the level that it's on for high ranking people like me, and people under me, close to me. They're going to gang stalk you with the culture. If you're a Christian, they're going to gang stalk you with the culture as well. It's going to be other stuff in it, but they can be more uh, specific when you're as high as ranking as me. So what they're doing is they're using the culture to gang stalk. So when I say the culture, that means the movies, the music, social medias. If even on the spade games, if you play spades or you play any game where you're interacting with other individuals, they're going to be gang stalking there. They're going to be gang stalking, obviously, on Facebook, gang stalking on YouTube. And you call it trolling. Some people call it trolling, but it's actually gang stalking. It's basically gang stalking online. Trolling, there are some trolls that are just innocent trolls, but most of them are internet gang stalkers. So internet gang stalkers could be mistaken for trolls. Okay, so what we have to do, our response to that is we're going to start fasting against the culture. I'm already fasting against it. I already have a fast, a very good fast against the American culture at large and as a whole. And that's how come I'm winning. I am just showing you how you're going to get the personal victory in your life is to begin to fast against the American culture. And that's going to knock out all the stuff online. That's going to knock out all the movie insinuations, all the movies they put out intentionally against you as a Christian. And pro pedophiles movies and pro gay movies and lesbian movies. That's gonna repel all of that. When you start fasting against the culture, you're gonna be able to see it. You're gonna see the insinuations. The insinuations are gonna stick out like 3D. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about being on the higher levels of spirituality is although they may try to hide it, I don't care how innocent it may look. It may be somebody that, for example, that's on a spade game, and they may use an avatar or they may use their avatar to have maybe a child on there. So to insinuate, to trigger you as to say you're a pedophile. So they'll have an emoji. I know it sounds crazy, but this is how sick they are. They'll have an emoji, an avatar for their page, right? And so the icon or the avatar for their user on a spades game or some other game where you're interacting with other people, they'll use their avatar to gang stalk. Okay, so that's what I call cultural gang stalking. You know what I'm saying? They may have women on there. They may have revealing men on there for women. And it's all to trigger you to either lust, or to give in to some type of other insinuation, and they'll have witchcraft also behind it. So they'll target you with the game that you're playing, and then they'll have witchcraft and telepathy and all other means of mind technology around it. If you're high ranking, to where they can trigger you, and you'll see it because it'll stick out like 3D. It'll stick out like 3D. You'll know it's not normal. And here's the thing. This is what I always want you to know. Don't try to act normal when you know it's not normal. Okay? I'm not saying be hostile and hurt one of these uh, gang stalkers, because God is going to bring the whole culture down. They're going to suffer in ways they have never dreamed of. Okay, in ways they have never dreamed of. Okay, but until that second comes, don't lash out at and let them get the best of your emotions. You know, just fast against them, and you will knock out the gang stalkers in your building. I'm pretty sure they will. If you're high ranking, they're going to be in your building. They're going to be in your neighborhood. They're going to be at your grocery stores, your delis. They're going to be all around those areas, right? They're going to be swamped through your whole neighborhood, okay? And they're going to use children. They're going to use adults. They're going to use old people, young people, everything in between. When you're high ranking, the more high ranking you are, the more high ranking the gang stalking is. Okay? If you're high ranking, the gang stalking is going to be high ranking. So it just comes with the territory. They're not going to just do the basic stuff that they do to average people. They're going to do the most. They're going to use technology. They can use technology from the government, from military, police, and all of that. They can use police and military. It's depending on how high ranking you are. And the Lord will strengthen you. What I recommend is, one of my strategies is stay away from it as much as possible. Sleep as much as possible too, because when you're asleep as a Christian or a spiritual person, you're not in sin. They're constantly patrolling. They're constantly playing games. They're constantly in sin, and you're winning. You're winning literally in your sleep. You're winning literally in your sleep. And so basically it's wrapped up. I've given up um, lifelong foods for life. And that's what I recommend, is start fasting against the culture. Give up certain foods for life. And this is going to um, pull you out of a lot of wars, and a lot of hardships in the wars. This is for God's true people. I don't expect Americans to be on my side per se, because they're just swamping the culture and swamping and influencing the people. So I'm not expecting uh, Americans to be on my side. I'm expecting Christians to understand that America is the enemy, and their culture is the enemy. Their culture is gang stalking. So their culture is playing all kind of games of following people around. Just in case you don't know what gang stalking is, it's following people all around. And so what we have to do is we have to fight them as like a military. We have to fight them as if they're military, and we have to neutralize our targets as if like military people do. It's not we're gonna let them play with us and bring us to the brink of depression or anything else. We're gonna kill that. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna kill that. We're not playing. I'm not involved in any tournaments or games. I didn't sign up for any tournaments, did I? So my approach is going to be different for people who volunteer to sign up for games. They sign up for games. I sign up for warfare. You see the difference? I sign up for warfare, which means I'm not going to let up when you start whelping like a stuck rabbit. You start screaming screeching like a rabbit. Start screaming like a little rabbit. I'm not letting up. Okay. I'm 41 years old. I'm not 21 years old. I'm 41 years old. I'm 9 years away from 50. I don't play. Listen, I don't play any games. Okay. And as you can see, the results are clear. See, in my case, because I went to the higher levels of fasting through Christ, and I thank God, it's Him that ultimately brings the outcome. I've begun to, now that when they gang stalk me, people die. And I'm not joking. Like that's what happens. And hopefully you get inspired by this to the point where you're starting to go to higher levels of purification, because this is what's going to bring death on the witches and warlocks, and that's gang stalking. They use that too. If you're a homebody, they're going to use witches and warlocks and telepaths. That's what they're going to do. And they're going to use mind technology. That's what they're going to do. They're going to target your house. Preferably if you have a studio, that's preferable because they can just target one room. They're going to target that area with witches, warlocks, telepaths, and psychics, and everything in between. Okay? So when you go to the higher levels of purification, you're going to destroy, you're going to cause literally, it's going to be death around your neighborhood, death around your community because of the repercussions, the spiritual backfirings of them gang stalking you through witches and warlocks and telepaths and astral projecting. So as they astral project into your room or your house, there's going to be, when you're fasting and seeking the Lord, there's going to be spiritual backfirings, and it's going to come as death on innocent people in their community. As the playtime is over. Many Christians that are in here in America, they're a part of the culture. They're, to me, and they haven't made a solid decision to separate from a culture that's gang stalking Christians, and it's kind of to me, it's an introduction to the falling away of many Christians, because if they don't make a decision to depart from a country with 50 states of gay marriage, and they subconsciously support, well, they indirectly support a country that has gay agenda, then how are they not in sin? You can't vote for politicians anymore as an American or as somebody here. You can't vote for no politicians that are empowering gay lifestyle and gay agenda. You can't empower someone that does that empowers gay agenda. You can't vote for them. You know what I'm saying? So what you have to do is realize is that they are the enemy. Don't be overwhelmed by it, because that's what they want you to feel. They want the main thing. One of the main things they want you to feel is overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying? And just go about your day as naturally as you usually do. If you're a homebody naturally, you don't have nothing to prove. You're not in high school. You're not in high school. You're not in a game. They want you to be. You're not in a game. Okay, that's another thing. You're not in a game. They're in a game. It's one-sided. It's a one-sided contest. It's a dog chasing his tail around. So you're not in that game. Okay. So any games that they're playing, just realize that don't be overwhelmed by it. Don't be overwhelmed by it. They all gotta die. It's already happening. That's why COVID is here, and many Christians and preachers, some of them are out of touch. They're just not in touch with what's going on. That, I'm not saying they're not going to heaven, but they're just not in touch with it. But the bottom line is this: is COVID-19 was judgment. So we took the smile away from the gang stalkers. We took their smile away. You know what I'm saying? They're not smiling anymore. Because they realized that COVID-19 and all of these other spiritual occurrences is because of their actions. You know what I mean? So that being said, it's obvious and apparent and like that they're losing. And like I said, when I come outside and I pull up, if they gang stalk me at all, I'm talking about one person they're using. It's now that I have elevated in fasting and abstaining from the culture and abstaining from the people. Now that I have done that, now the repercussions are coming back in days' time. So it's just, for me, it's way more elevated than it might be for you. And what you want it to be is elevated as the level that I'm on. When if you're gang stalked at all, it's repercussions. Life ain't no. I don't coexist with gang stalkers. I do not coexist with gang stalking people. So what you have to understand is you don't have to coexist with them. You don't. The Bible says, "How can two walk together unless they agree?" So God does not call you to walk on the same path as the wicked Americans, and those who gang stalk. You're not called to reason with them or anything like that. You're called to. The Bible says, "Suffer not a witch to live." Okay, so we can't go by physical means because of the authorities and things like that. But God's perspective is that witches should die. That's God's perspective on it. You know what I'm saying? So, for evangelists, you might need to slow down a little bit and start asking God to bring destruction on these witches and warlocks, and start praying for their salvation. That's it's time to go to war. See, the problems with half of these Christians out here, why we don't really have no spiritual backing like we should, and although these are our brothers in Christ and sisters in Christ, because they're praying for our enemies when we should be at war with them. Unfortunately, it came to this, and let me explain what I mean. You have gang stalkers out there. These gang stalkers are relentless, and they think they're cool in being relentless and persistent. They think that's cool, right? You're not going to get them to stop by praying. The best thing you can do is pray uh in what word I want to use? Discretionally, if that's a word. Pray with discretion. Okay? If you have been gang stalked for, let's just say, for a couple years, by now you should not be praying for them in a way for their salvation. I'm just being 100. You shouldn't be praying at this point about that. You should be praying that destruction and judgment comes on them. These are bratty, spoiled, entitled Americans. If to me, you're not a soldier if you're not a spiritual soldier praying for 2 years for the salvation of gang stalkers. It sounds good on paper until you realize that they're not going to serve God. There are some people, hear this, evangelists all over the world. There are some people that will not serve God, right? And they have free will. This is what you have to keep in mind. You can pray for God's spirit, the Holy Ghost to move on these people. You can pray for the anointing to break the yokes. I know all how you think. At the same time, man has free will. And you have not understood how lately, in the past 10 years or so, how Satan has gripped his rap around man's free will. Okay? If free will is what opens the door to a person coming to God or choosing to serve the enemy, you don't think Satan is going to come and put a grip around free will? So the heat is turned up on humanity's free will, where it's manipulated and influenced to do evil and to stay in the evil, to use the free will to stay in the evil, right? That being said, when you find people that have been manipulated by the satanic kingdom as far as their free will to stay in evil and do evil persistently and constantly, now you have to shift your prayer life over into war mode where judgment is brought on these individuals. And that's how I'm trying to that's how I'm trying to communicate it to you, articulate it to you. That's exactly how I needed to say it. Now, if you need to hear that again, please rewind that, because that explains why you need to now Stop praying for gang stalkers that's been gang stalking people for years. Okay? You have to now shift into war mode and start praying for judgment. Okay? And whether you do it or not, in my personal life, that's what's happening. It's more for your benefit and for the collective benefit of the community. But for me, as far as me and my house, God is bringing judgment on everything that comes down the middle playing with me. That's what's happening. So I just recommend just abstaining also from the community as much as you can, because they're using witches and warlocks to interact with you, whether they be in stores, delis. You, if you, Many of you, if you all knew how much of it was going on, you would get scared. But see, I'm militant minded. I think as a soldier would think. So a soldier realizes that there obviously is more than one enemy. There's more than one human being fighting against you. As a military, if you're opposed by a military, then there's going to be obviously more than one person. It's going to be a collective effort against you, and that does not intimidate a soldier. You know, so you just have to turn all the way up, start fasting, stop playing with it. You got to start looking now at your fasting life as warfare. You got to start looking at your giving life, what you give in ministry. You got to start looking at that as warfare. Okay? You got to start looking at your prayer life as warfare. Okay? And you got to stop looking at it as, oh, I'm growing, I'm growing in the Lord. And that's good. Don't get me wrong. That's good, right? But the Lord wants you to start using your prayer life, your worship life, your giving and your fasting as means of warfare, and it is scripturally supported. When Daniel fasted, it was a spiritual war going on. When Esther fasted, it was a spiritual war going on. So it's not just for you to just grow in the Lord. Fasting is also for spiritual warfare, and those are the scriptural bases that strengthens my points. Okay, it's not just for spiritual growth; it's for spiritual warfare. And I have to make a video just for that, because you have some Christians that walk around saying, well, fasting is just for one spiritual growth. You shouldn't be using it outwardly like you're a witch. You sure about that? I'm not saying be a witch. I'm not saying be a warlock. But are you sure that it can't be used as spiritual warfare against enemies? You sure about that? Okay, where I could show you in the Bible where, first of all, we do fight against flesh and blood. The Bible showed King David is the perfect example. He was appointed as a general over a military, which means he did fight. He ordered people to fight against flesh and blood. Samson killed people, killed 1,000 men. He caught 1,000 bodies with probably a sharp donkey bone. And if it was a donkey bone, then what I would suspect is that he wasn't hitting them in the face, because that probably just knock them out or daze them. He probably sharpened it to cut their necks. And because it's a donkey bone, it was probably very strong, a very strong, sharp, thick, blade-like piece of bone that he sharpened down to where he was just cutting necks. And strong as he was, we know he was strong, he was just slicing and dicing. So fastings, if you look at Daniel, if you look at Esther, how it changed Haman, if I'm saying his name right, how he was hung and all of that. And fasting will defeat literal physical enemies, and unfortunately, this is where we are in these final hours. We can't be docile, passive Christians. Everyone said they're soldiers, and well, now it's time to go to war. And it's not just some cute thing that we get to say and not be, you know. And so unfortunately, these Americans thought they could challenge. They specifically thought they could challenge the kingdom of God, and have been mentioning the name of God, Yahweh. They've been mentioning God's side like some arch rival, like they're fighting against God. That being said, then we're turning all the way up, and we like letting God give it all the way to them, because we're not going to sit back and let them think that they had the luxury of fighting God. You should rise up within yourself. See, Christians are not as aggressive as Muslims. You're not. You should not. You should be totally offended that somebody think they can challenge God, man. Smash them and kill them. That's what I'm saying. I don't care what you think, man. Nobody's gonna be challenging God, man. Man, that make me want to throw up, man. Somebody thinking they can challenge God, man. I choke me out, one of them people, man. You understand me? But I'm trying to do it God's way, man. You know what I mean? Somebody that think they can challenge God, man, that's got to die, bro. That's got to die. That's all it is to it. If you want to be passive, you want to be a person that sit back and think that you want to be nice and to be an evangelist, a cupcake evangelist. That's you, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not letting fools play with God, man. I'm not letting it happen. It's not happening, bro. It's not happening. So if they want to play with God and mention God's name, which I've seen, which I've heard, they mention God's name like this is some rivalry that they think they have against God. You know what a Muslim would do against gang stalkers? You know what they would do? They would network together and blow up cars and blow up houses. But we're not going to do it that way. That's what would happen if these gang stalkers start gang stalking Muslims. Yeah. But what we're gonna do, which we've been on a roll, it ain't no need to stop the method now. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We've been winning by means of just straight up spiritual warfare, fasting, seeking the Lord, giving to ministries, giving to big ministries. I recommend giving to huge ministries, and just keeping it like steady and consistent and giving constantly. But don't stay away from them as much as possible, just as a message that you can't oppose us. It's not like, come on, it's not. We're not on a basketball court, and if you think in that sense, then you're going to be the only one on the court. And I'm still gonna smash on you. I'm smash you and the goal. I'm gonna smash the whole court. The court gonna have holes in it. The goal's gonna be broke down. You gonna be broke down. Everybody watching gonna be broke down. If it's basketball, and the ball gonna be broke down. You ain't gonna have a ball to play with. That's how we smashing. It's complete destruction when spiritual warriors show up, man. There is spirit, man. It's total annihilation. That's our format. We tearing up everything. Okay, that's why you don't play with us, because it's not going to be. There's not going to be any prisoners saved. We're taking no prisoners. Okay, we're not. We ain't taking no prisoners. For people that don't understand that term, that means we're taking no POWs. We're taking no prisoners of war. We don't feel no need to have any. If you playing games, and your community is playing games, and you want to live, you better stop speaking up for yourself. Because I'm not differentiating. I am not differentiating when America has child marriage. This is why. This is why I'm not differentiating at this point. Your American community has child marriage. That's number one. That's actually number two. For me as a Christian, number one is you got gay marriage in all 50 states. Okay? That locks me as a Christian away from your community, from differentiating anyone in your community. Number two is child marriage in 43 states. Child marriage in 43 states is which that locks me off unto away from your community too, to where I'm not differentiating. You're differentiating, I'm not, and you don't know why I'm not. The reason why I'm not is because they have 43 states of child marriage, they have 50 states of gay marriage. That's why. Also, the third reason is because your community has taken money and gift cards. We've received intelligence about it. We already know. They've taken gift cards and possibly money for to participate in secret society gang stalkings. Okay? Cultural gang stalkings. So because you got 50 states with gay marriage, you got 43 states of child marriage, and you have Americans that have uh, joined in the gang stalking for gift cards and money. Because of this, we are not differentiating. That's too many people involved. So why should we differentiate when your American community is taking gift cards and money to participate in the gang stalking? They're not innocent anymore. They're not innocent anymore. Okay? That's how we looking at it. So there is no differentiation. We're not differentiating. This is all of this is the enemy. Okay? It's enough of the people to consider it the enemy. Right or wrong? Put yourself in my shoes. All this stuff that's been going on, I shouldn't differentiate the whole thing as the enemy. I shouldn't consider this a whole enemy and stop differentiating. Differentiating stopped long time ago. I stopped differentiating long time ago. I can't tell you how long ago it's been. It's been so long. I've been stopping differentiating because too many people got involved, and that's all it takes. So for you who do not know the language of all of this that's been going on, you need to listen to this so that you understand what's going on and what your position should be like. I'm not telling you to have the exact identical mood about it that I do have about it, but you have to have the same principles. You have to have the same recipe. You have to begin to use your fasting against the culture. You have to begin to use your fasting against the American community that has been guilty of gang stalking. They're all guilty and they're all suffering and they all know it now. They got 1 million deaths. That's for the gang stalking. They got 1 million plus deaths. Okay? We're not playing any games. Okay? And that's what they get. You shouldn't have played with God's people. So don't feel bad. You're not a part of them anyway. Just look at it like this. You're not part of gay community. You're a Christian. There's gay community in the whole 50 states of America. You as a Christian, you are not part of this country anymore anyway. You're not a part of it anymore anyway. You're a Christian. Why you can't be why would you want to be a part of this? As a Christian, what part of it makes you want to gravitate towards it? What part of the American culture and the American community and the people that are not Christians, these everyday people are not Christians. You're lucky if you really see a real Christian in your local community. They may wear crosses, they may wear cross rings and everything else. They might have a cross shirt on. Somebody else may have given that to them. But you will not usually see a real Christian in your community. Okay? And so that being said, why would you want to interact with that community anyway? What is that? What is it there? What is it there that makes you want to interact with them? Nothing for a real Christian. Nothing. So just settle it within yourself. As a Christian, there is nothing that you should want to interact with the Americans about. There's nothing there. If they are Christians, they're low level and they're babies and they're still doing things that you don't do anymore. and they may never stop doing those things, and so you don't have time to even slow down, to interact with any Americans really anyway. I mean, that's what you need to realize. You don't really, I mean, you're not going to find some guy that's just out of nowhere fasting for 50 days, just walking down the street. You're not going to find five guys in America that's fasting for 50 plus days or 5 days or weeks at a time. You're not going to find five guys like that while you're walking down the street. Okay? You're in a whole fallen community that has 50 states of gay marriage. That's the update. That's the current state of your country, right? Whether you like it or not. All right? And you have to adjust and update yourself and stop thinking like you're in the 80s or in the 90s. You're not in the 90s. I'm not in a time warp. I choose the style of how I look and dress and everything and what I even listen to based on what I want as a preference. But make no mistake about it. This is how my enemies get deceived. I am not in a time warp. I'm not out of touch. I am well aware of all of this stuff that's been going on. In fact, I am more well aware of it than an average American who is not bi-coastal. I am bi-coastal. I've lived in California. I've seen gang stalking there. I've seen gang stalking in Florida. I've seen gang stalking in more than one place. Okay, while half of these people are locals. Most Americans are locals. They're local as far as nationwide. They're not a person that has lived in multiple different cultures, subcultures in America. I've lived in different subcultures in America where people are different than New Yorkers are, you know what I mean? And so are different from people down south, being on the West Coast. So that's a whole different way of thinking over there. And I've even seen gang stalkers there. I've seen, the dark side over there, and so that being said, you have to understand, um, half of these people are just not going to they're not going to be able to perceive as you do and understand as you do, and you just got to keep it moving, so you know don't don't feel that you can, these Americans have something to offer you. They have nothing to offer you. Okay? They don't. You got to settle it within yourself. The Americans, you as a Christian, the Americans have nothing to offer you. What do they have to offer you? So if they don't have nothing to offer you, you as a grown man or woman, why would you feel the need to interact with someone that has nothing to offer you? Nothing. You ain't doing drugs. You don't want to have random sex with anyone. You don't want to have random sex with anyone. So what can they offer you? You got food, you got money. I mean, what can they offer you? So why would you interact with people that's why you got to get out of that. You don't feel you should feel no need to interact with someone that you don't have no need of. In this society, where they have gay marriage in all 50 states, you have to shift yourself and carry yourself differently as if you have no need of these people. You are a spiritual person. This is how you think. You have no need of someone who is in sin. Now you can help them if they're willing, but you still can't have a 1985, a 1989 way of thinking. You can't have a 1982, a 1990 way of thinking where you're thinking, oh, I can go evangelize. They're gang stalking now. They hate Christians here now because they know that God plagued this country because of what they were doing, right? Okay, so that being said, um, they're going to be gang stalking you and I, right? But with me particularly, because I've elevated, and this is part of the point of this video, because I've elevated Now they can't even gang stalk me anymore. Not without people dying. Not without people dying. And I'm not doing it physically. God is bringing the repercussions back quicker. See, the higher you elevate, the higher, this is what they don't tell you in spirituality. Walking with God, the higher you elevate, the quicker the repercussions come back. If you're all in sin and you're all in doing this and that, it will happen, but it won't happen as quickly. There will be more resistance. But when you're walking in the spirit, you're walking in the Holy Ghost, you're praying in the Holy Ghost, you're reading the word, you're staying focused on God, you're giving to ministries, you're fasting, they have hell to pay instantaneously. Like, as soon as you close your doors from coming back from being gang stalked, God is going to be sliding on them already. God is going to be sliding on them already. That's what I'm trying to show you. And I felt it within myself. It was like I was prompted these last couple times that they tried to gang stalk me when I went out. I was prompted, and I realized when I came back from wherever I went and I came back to my apartment, I realized they will be punished for what they did today. Not as, oh, well, just for what they've been doing in general. No. Anytime you go out, when you're elevated spiritually and they gang stalk you, it's on and popping as soon as you come back. Might start happening right there in front of you. That's hip hop, man. And that's no disrespect to any ethnicity. That's hip hop. That's pop culture. You know what I'm saying? This is spiritual warfare. This is spiritual warfare. Pop culture trying to clash with spiritual warfare, which is a joke, as you see. But you must fast against these jokes. You must fast against these clowns and put them in their proper place. But you can't think like you've been taught by these older Christians that's out of touch with gang stalking, and they're out of touch with the state of your country. They're not out in the world. They don't know. Some of them are retired, and they're trying to tell you what you're supposed to do. How they can tell you what you're supposed to do out here, spiritually speaking? How they gonna tell you how you supposed to address this, and no disrespect, you know, but they're not on the battlefield. They not out here knowing what weapons to apply and how to apply it. They don't know what to do, and they don't halfway believe you anyway. Half of them, they don't believe you being gang stalked. They halfway think that you paranoid. That's how they gonna label you, because that's how America has positioned their minds, is that anybody that's talking about being gang stalked or any of that, oh, they paranoid, something's wrong with them, they're mental. That's not true. That's not true. So you have to realize that that also many Christians, especially up in age, they don't know anything about this. You know what I'm saying? People that are younger do know about it. You know what I mean? And they're aware of it. And so they can have that dialogue with you, but even them, they don't know what to do. So the next step is, okay, not do I only know about it, I know what to do now. What to do is to start fasting against them. You know what I'm saying? If they've been gang stalking you for over 3 months, it's time to start fasting. I can see under 3 months, maybe, it's just some random stuff going on a little bit. It's going on a little bit. And you don't really know why or whatever. For whatever it is, now it's gone after about less than 3 months. Oh, that's a different situation. I still would fast after that, though, to bring repercussions on those who did interact with me in a gang stalking way. I just don't play any games. That's just me. I don't let anything get past me. If people did it If I, like, for example, if I was living in a hotel and I was being gang stalked in my hotel by telepaths and astral projecting individuals, then I am going to fast against all of those individuals. And when I leave, I'm still going to be fasting against them. Yeah, that's how that works for me. That's how that works, because you should not, you should feel like you don't want them to be in the world playing with anybody else like that. That needs to be your aspect. Your care in this season comes with eliminating the gang stalkers. That's how you show you care about your community. All this, oh well, we love the country. You love a country, got 50 states of gay marriage. How you care about your country right now is caring about defeating the gang stalkers. Okay? And you're going to do this. I'm not asking for your help per se. No, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not being prideful. I am showing you what's going on first. A, what's going on. B, how you can be defeating these people. You don't have to sit and be subject to what they want to do in your life like that. You're a spiritual warrior. You outrank them. You're higher on the food chain. You're higher on the food chain. You're not some little gerbil running around the jungle. You're not some gerbil running on the floor of the jungle. You know, you're lions. You have lion in your DNA. I'm serious. You outrank them. People die when people should be dying when they play with you. This is what we come to when you're dealing with zombie-like people. That's what I'm talking about when I say people should be dying. But unfortunately, here's the other thing I need to explain. As far as the repercussions of what should happen, it's not going, as far as true justice, it would not be totally just if it happened to the people that's doing it. They expect something bad to happen to them. They expect it. That's not abnormal for them to think about. You know, it's not abnormal as an outcome for them. They would expect that. Some of them would embrace it. What would be just and what would be true justice, unfortunately, being that you're an innocent person, what would actually be just is not repercussions on them. And this is how many people have thought about this equation, this spiritual mathematic of karma in this situation of gang stalking, that repercussions should come back on the gang stalkers. No, proper justice for gang stalking would be that innocent people in their community would die and suffer because of their gang stalking. Yeah, that's the proper justice. Okay, you're an innocent person, right? You're an innocent person. So they're targeting you as an innocent person. They're not an innocent person. So the karma would be for something bad to happen to other innocent people on their side. That's why it's happening like that. Because that's the proper spiritual mathematics. That's the proper spiritual equation in the situation. Not that something happens to them, something happens to innocent people, just like you was innocent. So they can see what it looks like for innocent people to be harmed on their side. That's proper spiritual retribution in this situation. They're expecting something to happen to them. They're dog dirty and dog nasty. They're expecting something to happen to them. That's not proper karma. Proper karma is you touched innocent people. Now innocent people are touched on your side. Now you see the proper spiritual equation. Now you see why innocent people are dying in your community. And people will say, well, they wasn't involved. Well, we wasn't involved. That's how we look at it. We wasn't involved either. You've gotten so used to the ongoing foolishness that you think we was involved. We wasn't involved. Okay? And so the right spiritual equation and sum total for your community is that innocent people that were not involved, just as we were not involved, they suffer as well. That's why it's a dangerous thing to play with innocent people. Because you're thinking, oh, it's just going to come back to us. We're ready for that. We're ready to die. Are you ready for innocent people to die? Huh? Are you ready for innocent families to die because of what you're doing to innocent people? That's the proper karma that's coming. See, karma works in a way to stop you. If something happens to you and you know you're a bad person, it's not going to stop you. Proper karma is going to stop you. So in this case, that's why I am sure that it's going to be innocent people that's harmed because karma works to stop you. That's why you don't play with karma. And people that don't understand it or don't respect it, they obviously have not had a dose of it. Because when you understand, when you've had a real dose of reaping what you sow, as we say as Christians, I don't listen. Some people get hung up, some religious people get hung up on terms. I don't follow the religion of karma. I am using a term what people can understand of retribution or reciprocity. Right? And some people don't know those words. They don't know what reciprocity means. They don't know what retribution or reparations means, or they don't understand what that means. They understand what karma means. So please stop being religious. I don't follow Hinduism or any kind of karma religion. Okay? Please don't be religious. Now, if I said something about the principles of karma or other principles that would be of the religion of karma, then you can say, I am connected to some religion of karma. I'm just using the term. I'm smart. I am a smart person. That's why I'm addressing you. I am using the term so that a term that most people are familiar with concerning reciprocity. Okay? Concerning fruition. See, I can use many terms. People don't know what fruition means. Okay? I am basically talking about fruition. I am a teacher. So I use words and use terms that don't go over people's head. I use terms that people are familiar with according to who I am talking to, right? That's so as teachers, we should be able to understand, we should be able to do that. You should be able to use cultural terms that people can understand and to get your spiritual points across. Okay? So many people have not experienced karma. Karma does not come in a way that you expect or you could handle. Karma only comes in a way to stop you. So not only is it bad, some people look at it as bad luck. Karma comes to stop you, which means you have to respect it. If you're doing stuff and that's going to come to stop you, it's not going to be good. If it's designed to stop you, if fruition and reciprocity based on your actions is designed to stop you, it's not going to be good. And in this case of gang stalking, it wouldn't just be enough for you to get the fruition of, well, you lost your job, you lost money, you're homeless or something. That wouldn't be good enough. The proper reciprocity or fruition for gang stalking would be innocent people harmed right in your face. That's on your side that you would care about in your community. Now you feel for an innocent person when you did not feel for an innocent person while you were gang stalking. But now you feel for an innocent person when they suffer for your gang stalking. You see how it all works together? You didn't care about how an innocent person would feel. You didn't care about that part. So what we're going to do is, what's going to be done is your actions is going to be a catalyst for suffering for an innocent person. And now you're going to have guilt because blood is going to be on your hands for what you did to an innocent person, not acknowledging an innocent person. And now you're going to see an innocent person suffer. And it's going to be based on your actions, when your actions was initially against an innocent person. Now you're going to see what your actions does to an innocent person that you would care about. The blinders that you put on when you gang stalk innocent people are going to be taken off when an innocent person in your community is harmed by your actions. So you're harming two people that are innocent, basically. And your reciprocity, your fruition is going to be innocent people harmed, so you can see what you're doing to innocent people when you're gang stalking. Now that's karma. And that's what you have to look forward to. And it's already happening. I told him, you mess with innocent people, you should expect innocent people to die. That's the proper karma, not you. Not you. No, it's you need to see how it feels to see innocent people suffer. That's what you need to see, because you have no concept of that. So what we need to do is show you a lot of innocent people suffering. That's what we need to do. Preferably in your family, preferably in your circle of friends, preferably some of them. That would be preferable. And now you see now you see clearly the concept of an innocent person. So whether Christians you like it or not, what does the Bible say? God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he reap. Not nothing else. That shall he reap. He played with innocent people. Guess what? That shall he reap. Not what you want him to reap. You got to get off your agenda and get on God's agenda. God's agenda is his word. And that's why listen, I can already see the great falling away, because many people that proclaim Christ are not following down to the T his way of doing things. They have a nice way of doing things. And sometimes it's not going to be a nice way of doing things. It's not going to be that way. It's not going to be that way in all cases. Okay? And so whether they like it or not, they're going to see innocent people suffer. You don't go around playing with the body of Christ like it's some ninja psychological game. Kung Fu fighting. This ain't no Kung Fu fighting, buddy. And that ain't for Asian people. It's for dumb Americans who think they know martial arts. They the ones the most corny about it. Walking around here like you some Kung Fu master. Can't be serious. Kung Fu master, huh? With 43 states of child marriage. Okay, Kung Fu master. Rock on with your bad self. So this ain't no karate match, man. You know what I'm saying? This ain't Kung Fu. And that's why I keep talking about it, but I got to do it. And it's just, with more time that goes by, my messages are going to be more meaningful anyway. I got to do a message on different formats of fighting. You got martial arts, you got physical military, gang banging, thugging, all of that kind of stuff. all different types of fighting, boxing and all the kind of different stuff, right? We are none of those styles of fighting. The kingdom of God pulls up and annihilates. That's what we do, man. It's not this whole going through the motion situation. So every once in a while, it gets slowed down so you understand, right? That you're not going to beat us on this level. You're not going to beat us on that level. We beat you with information. We beat you with spirituality. How else do we need to beat you? We beat you with numbers. I'm just one person. You got 1 million people. So I beat you based on numbers. When I win, which I won. So I beat you on numbers too. You got 1 million morons. I'm one man. I'm not a superhuman. See, when we bring it down to earth, we really see how bad you are defeated. But you try to make me seem like I'm some superhuman so it don't look that bad. That's a 7 hour. Oh, it looks real bad. You know what it looks like? An everyday man defeated your whole country. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. You try to make me out to be, he's the king of the earth, like some barbecue sauce. He's the king of the earth. Like I'm a bottle of barbecue sauce. He's the king of the earth. He's the king of the earth. No king of no earth. I'm an everyday man. I'm a prophet of God. That's what I am. And you've been defeated by one man through Christ Jesus. That's the story. You're making up these big circus stories to try to save face for why one man defeated your whole country. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. They trying to make up all these elaborate stories and folklores and legends to save face for why they can't beat me. That's what you need to hear. You need to hear it just like that. They're making up all these big names for me and all this folklore and legend, not for my benefit, so that they can save face for why they're defeated so bad by one man. Yeah, I'm one human being. I ran through all these people. Man, you can't be serious, man. And they still couldn't find one to match me yet. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's a lost cause. Wouldn't you think? It's a lost cause for me. Wouldn't you think so? Yeah, for you, you trying to save face because you're a sore loser. You can't accept that you've been defeated by one man, right? So you're on a mission to save face, which it ain't going to work because you got COVID-19. I mean, look at it for what it is. You have COVID-19, right? You have COVID-19, right? You're not going to ever be able to culturally usurp over that. How are you going to usurp over COVID-19? Huh? What can you do that's worse than that? Oh, kill one person? No one knows this person. That's not going to be enough. Kill 1,000 people? Nobody knows who they are. So no matter how many people you kill, how can you make your attack greater than what the kingdom of God, what God has done in response to my life? What can you do worse than that? You kung fu fighting. You kung. That's what you doing. You ain't kung fu fighting. You kung. You're not kung fu fighting. This is what you're doing. Oh, man. That's ridiculous, man. And not only did we win with spiritual power, we also won with knowledge and information. We won with you having 43 states of child marriage. That's the whole soul of America ripped out. Boom, ow. Hey, how you gonna come back from that? When your whole culture, entertainment culture, don't know. None of them don't know about this. How are you going to come back from 43 states of child marriage? We're talking about real war. We're talking about the sport and art of it. You want to get into it? Well, then let's do it. How are you going to beat COVID-19? That's spiritual power. How are you going to beat the information? That's 43 states of child marriage. What information you got on me that can compare to that? Man, you can't be serious. You got child marriage in America. Listen, man, you lost in all arenas. You lost in all arenas. Calling me a pedophile. I got a fully grown woman here. Boom, ow. I got a fully grown woman here. I'm pretty sure you know that. I'm pretty sure you've been eavesdropping. Pretty sure you know about that. We win in every arena, buddy. So people see my real sexuality versus your fantasy world that you've been living in for too long. You've been living in that little fantasy world of all these fake images of me too long. Now people see who I really am. I'm with a fully grown woman and everything's all good, and I'm pretty sure you know that. Huh? And that's the part that's your death sentence. Well, all the lies that you made up, it came to pass that it really was nothing but that. Nothing but lies. And now people see the truth of who I am. So how can it stand? How can that foolishness still stand up? Huh? When a fully grown woman is coming here. And that's been facts. Right? It's over, bro. We win in every arena. We win in every arena. And so if that being said, the warfare is more swift now because everybody see that I'm with a grown woman. So it ain't no more games being played. It doesn't matter. I'm not asking about your opinion. I'm not asking you about what you feel and all of this, that, and the third. The technicality and the legalities of the situation is I am with a fully grown woman. That's their death sentence. I ain't playing. Listen, I don't care what you say after that. I honestly don't care what anybody got to say after that part. Where I'm with a fully grown woman. That's what the reality is. I go by reality. Okay? So that means anything done after that understanding is death. Okay? It's understood where I'm at. It's understood what I do and don't do. It's very understood. So guess what that means? People die. Okay, you want to still play games like you Mickey Mouse? You will die. Okay? Yeah, I ain't playing no game. Listen, bro. Listen, man, I'm with a fully grown woman, man. Listen, man, anybody want to die today? That's what I'm talking about. That's what we talking about. Somebody want to die today? Because that's what it really is. Yeah. Playing no games. Thought you had somebody you could play with. Like I'm Charlie Brown. Why they always picking on me? What you thought I was Charlie Brown? I got brown eyes, but I ain't Charlie Brown, buddy. Ow. I got brown eyes, but I am not Charlie Brown, buddy. You try to play with me and pick on me, buddy, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to bark up the wrong tree, and like a dog barking up the wrong tree, I'm going to tear your whole snout off. I'm going to tear your whole snout clean off. You're going to go back to the hunter that sent you with no snout. You know how a dog look with no snout, the whole top toe off? You got a tongue, like you panting still like you're a good old dog. What happened to you? Oh my God, they tore your whole snout off. Oh my God, my dog. Oh my God, my dog. My dog. Yeah, you bark up the wrong tree with me, we tearing the whole snout off, bruh. That's what's happening. Anybody gang stalk me, death is coming from God. When I come out, I don't want to see nobody. I don't want to see no stage stuff, no so-called allies, no so-called friends, no so-called enemies. I don't see nothing. You got me? I don't need to see nothing. I'm in good shape. I'm good. I don't need no pep rally. Pep everybody up. Make a pep rally for them. Pep them up. I've been on my own doing this for quite some time now. I don't need no pep rally. I don't need no encouragement. God encourages me. God is here encouraging me. I don't need nobody encouraging me. That means you don't need to send me nobody. Men, women, children trying to brighten up my day. God brightens up my day. You know who brightens up my day? The Lord brightens up my day. You don't need to do nothing. Because what I'm starting to feel is that you think you getting some kind of glory out of incorporating yourself into my life. You're getting some kind of glory, some kind of self-glory out of it. And I'm shutting that down. I don't need you to be showing up at all. At all, bro. At all. What part of at all they don't understand? Nothing. I am quite fine on my own. If you thought I was suicidal, if you thought I was depressed, that's not true. I'm none of those things. I am strategic. I am a spiritual person. I am a prophet. I am designed to stay on my own for weeks. What's wrong with you American? What's wrong with you Americans? You think humans are all one type of act the same way. I'm designed a certain way. I'm uniquely designed. I can be on my own for weeks. Yeah, you not built like that. I am. Why you think I'm depressed? That's what you would be like if you was depressed. I'm not depressed. That's how you would be. The only way you could be me is if you was depressed. I can stay in this one room and nothing is wrong with me. I'm from North Carolina. You got to look at a lot of stuff. I'm not from New York. You might feel the need as New Yorkers to go out every day. I, as a person from North Carolina, may feel the need to stay in. So you don't look at everything. You think you know me, but you don't. You overlook a lot of things. I'm not from New York. You might feel the need to go out and get a cup of coffee every day. And there's nothing wrong with that. You might feel the need to go get a sandwich every day just to, you might want fresh air, to walk outside of fresh air. Fresh air may be to me opening my window. That's fresh air to me. But you want to be out there in the elements. That's you. I'm not from where you from, but I'm healthy. That's what I'm trying to say. If you truly understand someone, then you will understand if they're healthy or not. If I'm from North Carolina, I'm from the South, I have the tendency to be in. Well, ain't nothing really out there in the South. You get used to being in. Yeah, you used to running around. So you think something wrong with me because I ain't doing what you're doing. Yet you overlook I'm not where you from. That's the whole part you overlook. But ignorance is bliss. That's what they say. Ignorance is bliss. I'm good and well. I don't need nobody in my path, bro. If you ain't got no bag for me, you ain't got no money for me, I don't know what other conversation we supposed to be having. That's how I look at it. I'm not trying to be cold-hearted. I'm not trying to be some extreme humanitarian out here with everybody. I'm not trying to go to either extreme. You feel me? I'm not no cold-hearted person, and I'm not trying to be no humanitarian person out here all in everybody's politics and waving my hands at everybody like I'm in a parade or something. I'm not at a parade waving my hands like this and like a Miss America pageant. You know how they wave their hand like that? You know how they do that. Like I'm waving my hand in a parade or something. Like that's how you expect me to go outside like I'm riding by in a parade. With no money now, with no alliance, with all the gang stalking. I am not in the mood to play games, bro. I'm not in the mood to play. That's real. That's why you gotta understand my temperament. You walking around like a happy dog, and I'm not on the same wave as you. Now I'm happy with me and my woman and everything. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not the wave that you on. Like it's all good and it's all love. It's not like that, bro. It's listen, man. It's all type of piled up liabilities from these gang stalkers and the culture. Let's keep that in mind. It's all these liabilities piled up. That's what's going on, man. And so that's my temperament with this community. All these liabilities. Yeah, I'm happy with my people, but I'm not happy with people that got liabilities. You know what I'm saying? People are one track minded. Oh, he happy with his woman. He must be happy with us. That's gonna help us. How's it gonna help you? I'm not a one track minded person. I can love my family and hold you to liabilities. I guess you thought the love I have for my family means I got love for you too. Simple minded, man. But they sitting up here with liabilities, obvious liabilities. Man, come on, man. You can't be serious, bro. All I'm saying is, man, we live in a grown world. We live in a real grown world, man. We live like grown men and women. And I don't see how the Americans want to live anyway. You got 43 states of child marriage as a grown man. I don't see how you could feel good and clean here. Ugh. They got 43 states of child marriage. How can you feel clean? Dang, how can you feel clean? You know what I mean? Ugh. I have no problem with leaving. They can get, it's just a matter of money. If I had the right amount of money, I probably know I wouldn't be here. What for? Every city looked the same. McDonald's, Wendy's, some malls. It's the same. If you are a nationwide person, first of all, when you go to a city, you look for the same stores. That's what you do. You look for the same familiar stores. It's the same thing everywhere. Everyone's, some cities got some unique stores, some unique things, but for the main course of the whole experience, when you're going from city to city, you're looking for the same things that you gravitate towards. The same type of people you gravitate towards too. Whatever that type of people may be, you're looking for the same thing in all these cities. In all these cities, you're looking for the same thing. You smoke cigarettes. You go to when you go to California, you don't start smoking some other cigarette. You looking for Newports. You smoke Newports. You looking for Newports when you go to California. You looking for Black and Milds or whatever you smoke. You looking for the same thing. Whatever your vices are. Now I'm talking to the worldly section. Whatever your vices are, you're looking for the same thing in all these different cities. You're looking for the same kind of alcohol, the same kind of whatever. You're looking for all the same vices and the same mentality of people. You know what I'm saying? However you get down, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the same type of people, the same type of vices. So it's the same thing to me. But that's a cultural thing. That's how you know you're connected to the culture, because you go city to city looking for the same thing. Boom, Al. You go from city to city looking for the exact same things in the other cities you just was in. You telling me you ain't hooked to a grid when you do that? Go in the store looking for the same stuff. So, man, like, the bottom line is, man, tables turned. You know what I'm saying? And they can't accept it. And the gang stalkers are now, this is what you need to do as the American community. You need to hold these gang stalkers to the fact that they defeated. Why don't you tell them? Why don't you wake them up? Why don't you have a powwow with the gang stalkers and let them know that they're thoroughly defeated so that they can stop putting you in harm's way? Okay? That's what they're doing at this point. They're not putting me in harm's way. I'm good. I'm strategic with what I'm doing. I'm very strategic with what I'm doing, and I'm getting the results that I need. Right? So don't worry about how I'm moving. I'm absolutely fine. What you need to worry about is these gang stalkers bringing spiritual liabilities on your family. That's what they doing. They bringing liabilities on your family, and so you got a decision to make. You know, you know, let them sit back and procrastinate the inevitable, which is confronting the people that's playing games because they're now bringing spiritual uh, liabilities on your country that everybody can see. Everybody can see it. Okay, I know black people see it. They easily see it. You can easily see it. It's all of it's coming back on them. All of this is coming back on your community. Now, see, I'm not being racist when I say this, but a white psycho suburban prick will think to keep going because he's a psycho suburban prick, right? That's what he is. He's a suburban psycho prick. So he thinks to keep going when he see men, women, and families dying. That's what a prick would do. And so that's why, people voucher for me because I am a voice of reason. What's the voice of reason that they got? Oh, some stuff that no one seen me do. Oh, testimonies from player hating family member. That's what they got going on. That's their voice of reasoning. Well, I'm telling you, it's obvious that they putting people in harm's way through the gang stalking. That's got to come back. The gang stalking itself, right? Although it may not be physically touching anyone, has to come back. That's what I'm trying to show you. It has to come back spiritually on your community. Okay? And so that's why people voucher for me. Even though I don't want anyone to be, here, but they ain't doing nothing. It doesn't make sense to me. But that's why they do voucher for me, because if you just listen to me, I am a voice of reason, proper reasoning. The real problem is people going about like some suburban prick. People from the hood don't take life for granted. So I know it's a suburban prick that's behind this. It's a suburban prick. I guarantee you. I know what black people feel like. I know what their actions feel like. And I know what a prick that grew up in the suburbs, I know what his actions feel like. I know what her actions feel like that grew up as a prick in the suburbs. Okay? That's how mature I am. I know when I'm dealing with pricks. Okay? And listen, you have a decision to make. Would it be easier if there was no gang stalkers? It would be a better world. People are starting to look at, okay, it's a handful of people being gang stalked. A prick would think, oh, it's easier to kill them. But you don't get rid of the problem. Can you be sure that they're not going to do it to somebody else? You can't be sure about that, can you? I mean, after all, these are not Christians. These are not people that have any value system or integrity or characters. So you really can't be sure if they'll do this again, can you? It puts you in the same big situation. How you know? How can you be absolutely sure? Oh, because they gave you a Boy Scout swear, a Boy Scout pinky oath. Hey, they gave you a Boy Scout pinky oath, a Girl Scout pinky oath. That's what did it. A Brownies Girl Scout pinky oath. That's what made it happen for you. They did a Girl Scout pinky oath, and you thought, oh, they gave us their word on it. You can't say what they'll do. All you can go by is what they have done and how far they went done doing it. How far they have went doing it. How far they have gone doing it. That's all you can be aware of. So, I mean, or assured of is facts in actuality. So, to be wise and discretional, the solution is to get rid of something that is the biggest problem of this whole situation. Okay, which would be the gang stalkers. See, they can't assault my intelligence with that either. Oh, well, it's just easier to kill a couple people. Are you sure about that? Well, as far as the problem, it isn't. As far as the problem, it's not easier to kill a couple people because you're the gang stalkers. So, as far as the problem, it's not as easy as killing a couple people because you're many people that need to be destroyed and defeated. I would say put them in camps. Put them in camps. Put some barbed wire around them. Put them in some camps somewhere. Label them as the X-Men unclassified, something like that. Put these weirdos in a camp. Put them away in some camp and treat them like the animals they are. That's what I say. Because now we see the real true nature of how animalistic people can be. I'm a soldier. It's a difference. But they're putting kids in harm's way. Yeah, they are. I mean, gang stalkers shouldn't be doing nothing around kids. That's how I feel. It should be no kids nowhere around when you're doing evil. That's how I feel. So you're riding around playing games and kids are all around. And families are starting to become casualties because you're using them too. They're using the kids too. So now we see the kids are becoming casualties because they're using kids in gang stalking, pedophile entrapment games. So now that because they possibly gave you a brownie Girl Scout pinky swear, a brownie Girl Scout pinky swear. They swear like a Girl Scout brownie. You know the little brownie Girl Scouts? Last time I gave them some money was out in San Jose in California by the grocery store out there. Boom, ow. And these people act like they're little brownies giving a pinky swear. This is my Girl Scout honor swear. As a brownie, this will never happen again. Now, can you be sure about that? You can't, can you? You can't be sure about that, can you? You can't be sure based off a Girl Scout brownie pinky swear that they won't do this again. You can't be assured about that, can you? All you can be assured about is that they did it once and they might do it again, and they're too untrustworthy to live. That's how I look at it. They're too untrustworthy to live. I wouldn't take no chance on somebody tearing up my country like that ever again. Because at the end of the day, I'm responding to what they're doing. That's the difference. So you can't be stupid in war. I'm responding. I'm supposed to respond to what they do. I'm supposed to do that. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Keep that in mind. I don't care how you feel about it. I don't care what you think you see on me or what you think is real or whatever. The bottom line is I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.